Hello, welcome to class. In today's class, we're going to be focusing on the core. And when we think about the core, we want to think about it wrapping all the way around the body, almost like a corset or a girdle. And we also want to realize that there are different levels to the core. So we have the superficial muscles, and then we have the deep muscles. We also have these muscles, the oblique muscles that run at a diagonal in the body. It's super important to engage the core, specifically when you come off center. So, like thinking about bending over, we want to make sure that we engage the core. We also want to realize that we need to come into neutral position, specifically like in Tadasana, where we tuck the tail and we engage the low belly. So rather than having the back, specifically the low back, in a position like this, we want to tuck the tail under. We also don't want to tuck it too far under. So you want to play with trying to find the pubic bone and your hip bone in alignment in the same plane. So welcome to class. If you are coming along with me, you can go ahead and start your Spotify playlist. And we are going to begin seated. You can close your eyes if you like, or come into a soft gaze, sitting up nice and straight, taking a few moments to check into the body, the breath. Removing distractions, taking this time for yourself to be present to the moments. And then notice if you feel like the core is engaged here. You might notice that with the inhalation, your belly expands or can expand out. And then with your exhalation, you can draw your navel into your spine. So just nice little activation of the core with the breath. Softly on the exhalation, drawing the navel into the spine. Creating a little tension in the core, the low belly of the spine. You can bring your hands palms down on your knees, and we're going to circle around and just notice how that feels as we move from one side to the front, to the other side and around. So spiraling around your core body. Remember to breathe nice and evenly. And we are going to notice the direction that we're traveling and then take it the other way. If you like, you can get your head and your shoulders involved in the movement. Keeping your core nice and engaged as you come off of center and then around, maybe even coming to the back a little bit. One more time around. Coming back to center, lengthening the spine up, making sure that you don't have a big arch in your low back. We're going to take our arms out to the side. And we're going to open up the side body by bringing one hand down and taking the other hand over. You could really engage that arm that is up in the air, making it nice and strong. Side bend. Take a deep breath and press to center and come to the other side. Take a deep breath in, bringing it back to center. We're going to do our spinal twist, but before we do that, we want to make sure that we lengthen the spine nice and long. And then we take opposite hand over to the knee, and you could keep your shoulders right over your hips. So we don't want to lean back or arch our spine in any way. We want to really lengthen the spine up and look over the shoulder. Take a deep breath in. Let's bring it back through center and come to the other side. Bringing it back to center. We're going to come back with an upright spine, hands on your knees. You could close your eyes or come into a soft gaze. Coming back to that belly breathing. Okay, if your eyes are closed, we're going to open them. We're going to come onto all fours. If you like, you can use a blanket to pad your knees. It's important that you don't feel any burning sensation in the knees. We're going to come onto all fours. And we're going to do cat and cow. So this is where we can actually engage the spine. So we're going to plant our hands. You could have the tops of your feet on the mat. The hands are right underneath the shoulders. And you could curl your toes under or have your tops of your feet on the mat. So we're going to arch the spine, pressing the mat away, drawing the belly into the spine. This is angry cat. And then we're going to do our cow pose, which is the opposite with the spine, a little letting your belly kind of relax towards the floor. And we're going to flow here. So exhale, belly into spine. And then inhale. Warming up the spine. Make sure you have your fingers spread and you're pressing down through the whole hand. This will help make sure that your wrists stay happy. One more time, cat, cow. And then sitting back in a version of hero's pose, hands on top of the thighs. We want to make sure that we keep our tail tucked even here. So instead of arching your spine, we're going to keep the tail tucked and the spine nice and straight. Let's take the hands out in front of us and we're going to press the palms away. And then press your shoulders away. Engage your low belly. Relax your jaw. This is an excellent pose to do if you sit at the computer a lot during the day, even drawing your thumbs back towards your chest. And then we're going to turn those palms back towards us and we're going to do interlacing the fingers behind the back body, drawing the shoulders together, straightening the arms if possible. If that doesn't feel good, you could always bring your thumbs to your sacrum, your low back pelvis area, deciding what feels good to your body, engaging your core. Okay, we're going to come back and onto all fours. And we're going to curl our toes and we're going to lift our knees up and press back. Heels down towards the floor. You can always bend your knees deeply if you like to get your back straight, tailbone to the sky, and then maybe straightening the legs. And then we're going to bring ourselves, walking our hands back. If you have a blanket, this is a good opportunity to move it off to the side. Forward fold. You want to keep your knees deeply bent to begin with before you start to straighten, because we want to make sure that our low back is not bent. Okay, rolling up if you like. If this feels good to your spine, tucking your tail, letting your pelvis come into alignment first, your chest, and then your head. The alternative to that is coming up with a straight back, which is better for some people that might have low back issues. Let's take a step to the front of our mat. We're going to shift our body weight over to the left side, engaging our low belly, and then stepping back. And if you need to take a couple of steps back to get into a wide stance, you can do that. And we're going to come into warrior pose. So here, remember that your chest is right over your hips and that your shoulders are down. You can gaze out over your fingertips and breathe. Palm up, front hand. We're going to reach that back hand back and really, really extend through the spine as you reach back. Keep your low belly engaged. We're off alignment a little bit here, so it's really important to engage the core. Take a deep breath in. Let's bring it back to center. And we're going to lightly place the forearm on the thigh. So it takes a little bit of core strength to do this. So we're going to then extend the arm up or over the head. This is our side angle. Breathe. Using your core strength, coming back up and into warrior two. We're going to pick up our back heel and step it forward. And we're going to take a deep breath in and exhale back down. Doing the same sequence on the other side, shifting over to the right foot. The left foot steps back. Lining up my heel with my instep. Arms out. Pulling the low belly in. Palm up, front hand. Reaching up and back. Look up towards the sky if that feels okay to your neck. Otherwise, you can just relax your head. Find something to look at. This can be challenging with your balance. And then take a deep breath in. Let's come back into warrior two. Side angle. Engage your core as you come up and over. Arm can come straight up to the sky or over your head. You choose. Keep that arm really super light on that thigh. Breathe. We're going to take a deep breath in and come back to center. We're going to pick up that back foot, turn, and step it forward. Take a deep breath in and exhale back down. We're going to come into our chair pose. So chair pose, feet are hip width apart. You could sink your hips back. You could lift your toes. Arms can stay at the heart or they can come out in front. Or for those of you who are familiar with chair pose, you can bring your arms up and lift your chest a little bit. That's a lot more difficult than having the arms in terms of leverage. Take a deep breath in. Relax your jaw, relax your eyes. Take a deep breath in and bring it up. Okay. We're going to take ourselves sideways on our mat, and we're going to take our arms out in front of us, and I want you to bring your thumbs together, and I want you to pull your hands apart. So we're going to come down, and we're just going to move on and off center. So feeling the core engage. If you feel like there's one part of your body that feels tight, you can focus in on that place. Warming up your joints. On and off center, 360 degrees. When you're ready, let's bring it back to center. Hands can come down. We're going to step back to the front of the mat. I'm going to come to the other side of my mat. And we're going to come down through what is referred to as a sun salutation. So taking a deep breath in, coming over, hinging at the hips, bending your knees, straight spine over, coming down and onto or into a forward fold. We're going to step one foot back and then the other foot back and into our downward dog. We're going to come forward and into plank position. We're going to drop our knees. So I want you to really feel the core engagement. So my knees are behind my hips here, so that if I lifted my knees, I would be in alignment with my head, my chest, and my hips. So you don't want your knees right underneath your hips here. So dropping the knees. What I want you to do is take a couple of deep breaths. And on the exhale, I want you to pull your navel into your spine. Okay, we're going to lower ourselves down. Elbows come to the back. And we're going to come into Sphinx position with our elbows down. And I want you to press your pubic bone into the mat and your tops of your feet, if possible, and your thigh bones. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pull ourselves forward with our elbows and our forearms and our hands, and then lift. So this is a gentle back bend, but it's also it's a stretch in the front of your body, your abdominal muscles. Lengthen your neck, relax your shoulders down away from your ears. Take a deep breath in and bring it back down. We're going to take our hands underneath our shoulders, curl our toes, come back onto your knees, and then up and into downward dog. We're going to take the front or the right leg up into the sky, and we're going to draw the knee underneath the body and step it forward, dropping the back knee down, lowering the top of the foot down, and we're going to come into a crescent lunge. Arms can come up and pull your low belly in. So what I want you to do is feel the core engagement rather than a back bend here. Relax your shoulders down and lengthen your head up. Take a deep breath in. Let's bring our hands back down. We're going to curl our toes and then lift our knee and then step ourselves forward and into forward fold. Now you could either come up with a straight back or roll up. So straight back, hinging at the hips, and then back into our mountain pose. Let's do that on the other side. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Forward fold. This time the left foot steps back, right foot steps back, downward dog. Coming forward into plank position, dropping it to your knees and low belly. So make sure on the exhale, the low belly comes in towards the spine. Press the mat away. We're going to lower ourselves, elbows back down. And this time, instead of Sphinx position, we're going to try a locust pose where our hands are underneath our shoulders. We're going to press the pubic bone down, the thighs down, the tops of the feet down, and then we're going to lift our chest and hover our arms up. So if this feels bad to your low back, you could come back to Sphinx. We want to lengthen our neck up. And then option is to lift your feet up off the mat. So feeling that low back, the back body engaged. Core, belly button down, core engaged. Breathe. Take a deep breath in. Let's release that back down. We're going to curl our toes, press back and into downward dog. Coming into our low lunge, left foot comes up. We draw it underneath the body, stepping forward, bending the knee, coming up. Stay upright, shoulders over the hips. Breathe. Take a deep breath in. Let's bring the hands back down. We're going to pick up that knee, step it forward, forward fold. And then either coming up with a straight spine or tucking your tail and rolling up. Nice and slow. Okay. Notice how your body feels. We're going to find our way down and onto our back body. Could draw your knees into your chest, give them a nice little hug. Could pick up your head, tuck your chin, and then rest your head back down. Okay, we're going to bring our feet to the floor, and we're going to do some belly breathing here. I want you to pin your low back to the floor. So I want you to not have any arch in your spine. So your low back is down flat on the ground. We're going to bring our hands down by the sides of the body. And then as you inhale, I want you to fill up your belly. So taking a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, see if you can even press more deeply into the low belly, into the low back, and press it down to the ground. Doing that a few more times, it might feel kind of intense. The low belly down. You can even touch your belly if you like to really feel that engagement. Okay. From here, we're going to keep the low back pinned to the floor, but we're going to lift the legs up and we're going to begin to move the arms and legs. You can lift your head up if you like. And this is a really, really great way to strengthen your core because you are stabilizing it against the earth. And so you're not like bending any joints. And so there's no intervertebral disc thing going on here except for in the neck. So if you want to keep your head down, you can do that. You could lift up a little bit higher. You could play with how far you can extend your legs. Maybe you want to start nice and close to the body. If you feel your low back being compromised, the integrity, you want to come back close to the body. Now, see if we can fire up those obliques by bringing it to the side. Arms in one direction, legs in the other. Breathe. And then taking it through center and to the other side. Bring it back through center. And then we're going to rest our head down. Take your legs in towards your chest. Relax your shoulders. Take some deep breaths here. Okay. We're going to do a spinal twist. So we're going to extend the left leg long. And then what I want you to do is shift your body weight over to the left side. Right foot comes to the top of the thigh, and then draw that leg across. You could take your right arm out and look towards the right. So notice the twisting action of your core. You want to try to keep that shoulder, the right shoulder, down as you take the leg over. If it comes off the floor a little bit, that's fine. You can play with pressing it back down, gentle pulses, leg comes back over. And then bring it back through center. Let's extend the right leg, shift towards the right. Left foot comes to the thigh, drawing it over, looking in that other direction. Noticing the twist through the core. Bringing it back through center when you're ready. It's coming out the same way you came in, nice and slow. We're going to take our feet underneath, reestablish some balance between left and right. You could walk your feet in. And then what we're going to do is we're going to press the low belly as closely down to the earth as you can. And then lift the pelvis first, coming up onto your mid back. You want to keep off of your neck and your head. So pressing the hips to the sky. This is bridge pose. Engaging your inner thighs. You could imagine squeezing them towards one another. And then you could take a deep breath in, make the belly get big, and then on the exhale, draw the navel to the spine. Keep your jaw nice and relaxed. You can always come out if you need to, or try to breathe through any of the minor discomfort. Feeling the strength in your spirit, and the strength in your mind and your body. Strong emotions. Okay, now we're going to be really interested in laying the spine back down on the floor, articulating the vertebrae nice and slow. And notice that moment you get to release the tension. Should feel kind of nice. Bringing the knees into the chest, we're going to grab the backs of the thighs and we're going to roll up and back, staying off of your head and neck. This should feel good. If it doesn't, you want to just come up and into seated. We're going to roll up and into the pose of the day, which is Navasana. This is our pose of the day, boat pose, Navasana. So we're going to keep our knees bent. You can flex point your feet, which means that you arch your feet. You're pushing out through the ball of your feet and the heels of your feet, and then spreading your toes. This could be one option. You want to keep your spine nice and straight. You could even hold on to the backs of your knees here, Navasana, or you can begin to straighten the legs and bring the arms out, leaning back to counterbalance. Boat pose, pose of the day. Feel that core. Maybe it's starting to shake a little bit. Yeah, strong. Ride the breath. And when you're ready, we're going to bring the feet down and we're going to take the soles of the feet together, but keep the feet out in front of you and sit up nice and straight. We're going to grab onto our shins or your ankles and lengthen the spine up. Feel the lengthening of your side body. Now, keeping the spine straight, maybe you could come forward and let yourself hinge forward at the hips. Maybe it's just a little ways, chin into chest. Maybe you could come a little bit deeper, but see if you can keep your low back straight. This is a yin yoga pose. We're going to release into it with our breath. On the exhale, see if you can find where you feel the tension. It's keeping you from going a little bit further. Let yourself get super heavy. Feel the roundedness of your upper back and head as your head is relaxed, chin to chest. Okay, we're going to find our way slowly back up. We're going to extend one leg long, could be the left leg, and then we're going to take the right leg, foot and knee, and we're going to cradle it. I want you to get that long leg nice and strong. So we're just cradling it here, feeling the opening in the hip. Option to stay here, option to bring your ankle to your knee, and then to sit back and then squeeze your shoulder blades together. So this is a seated version of pigeon pose. You could take your legs side to side if you like. We're feeling into that bent hip opening. Okay, let's release that leg back down. We're going to switch sides, cradling the foot first. This could be your pose. We're going to flex the foot of the long leg, pressing it down and into the ground. An option to leave it here or to bend your knee, placing your ankle on your thigh, bringing your hands back. Your fingertips are forward. And then gently let yourself move side to side a little bit. And then let's take that leg long, releasing the legs. You could bend both knees and take them from one side to the other, little windshield wipers. Squeezing your shoulder blades if you like and pressing your chest forward, opening the shoulders. From here, we're going to find our way back onto all fours. So finding your way here. We're going to come into plank position on our forearms, which is a really good option for doing plank position if you have problems with your wrists or if you just have issues with your wrists. So this is also super good for core strengthening. So placing your elbows down, you could wrap your fingers around your upper arms to make sure that you are squared off. Your elbows are right underneath your shoulders. You could walk your elbows in just a little bit so you can hold on to your upper arm bones. That's just a way to assess whether you're in the right position. And then we're going to bring our hands out. We're going to interlace our fingers. And then I like to tuck my pinky fingers under. And I want to see if I can press down through my whole forearm, my elbows, and into my hands. From here, we're going to maybe scoot ourselves a little bit forward. I'm off my mat. And then take your one foot back and then the other foot back. And notice that my knees are in alignment with one another. My legs are parallel. Option is to drop the knees. So this is forearm plank on your knees. So pressing the mat away, engage your core. Option to lift your knees up and press back through your heels, lengthen your neck out, and breathe. This is super, super challenging. So breathing. Shaking happens here. You can always drop your knees whenever you need to. Press through your forearm, through your hands. Should be no pain in the elbows. And then when you're ready, everybody come back down. We're going to take it into child's pose. So I like to take my knees wide and then sink my hips back towards my heels. And I like to have my arms out in front of me because it feels good to my shoulders. Extended child's pose. Relax everything here. Let yourself get nice and heavy and nice and soft. Bringing yourself onto all fours. We're going to find a little opening in the back of our shoulder with thread the needle. So you want to take the right hand underneath the left armpit, and then you want to keep your palm up. So I place my shoulder, my upper arm bone on the ground, and I press down through that shoulder. You could take your other hand and press open. So as you roll open and onto that shoulder, you're going to maybe feel a stretch between your shoulder blade and your spine. Take some deep breaths here. And then when you're ready, we're going to unwind the spine coming out the same way we came in. Planting your hand, other arm up, comes under, pressing your shoulder down. You could use your other hand to help open and roll open. Breathe. You can play with different variations of this pose to feel the most in your space between your shoulder blades. Take a deep breath in and bring it back to center. You could curl your toes under and maybe come onto the balls of your feet and feel your low back lengthen. Might be able to sit up and balance here, finding a drishti point, something to look at. It's okay if you need to keep your hands down. And then pressing to rise. We're going to practice balancing and using our core strength. In first, a dynamic balance. So shifting your body weight, you want to make sure that your hip and your knee and your ankle are all in alignment and you're very engaged. So hands to hips. Notice my core is aligned here. Now, if I do decide to release my hands and come off, I'm keeping the core engaged as I do that. So any movement like before when we were free flowing, could even come over, find your hands to the floor, but then engage. Oh. This girdle-like action of your core body is what keeps your spine safe. You can always keep the movements very small to begin with. And then when you're ready, shifting to the other foot, other side. Hands on hips first. Keeping your spine in alignment. Lengthening your head up. And then choosing or not to come over. Breathing. And then bringing it back to center. Okay, one more balance pose. So turning your foot out, externally rotating your thigh at the hip. We're going to bring our hands or our foot either below the knee or above the knee, and then our hands into the heart. And then I want you to like zip up, engage, and lift the belly up. Hands could be at your heart or you can extend them out. You choose. Feel the wobble if there is one. And then be amazed at the strength of your body. And then when you're ready, take a deep breath in. We're going to shift to the other foot. Planting your foot. Hands could stay in towards the core. Zip up, up. Pull up the belly. Relax your face. Take some deep breaths. And then when you're ready, let's release that. We're going to find our way down and into our final relaxation. So finding a way to come into stillness. So fidgeting, fidget, and then maybe lift your chest, lift your heart. Hands come out away from the body. And here we can take some breaths where we let the belly get expansive. And then on the exhale, drawing navel into spine. And then coming into our normal, natural breath. Doing a body scan and noticing If you're holding tension unnecessarily in any given spot, if you know that about yourself, exploring that sensation, or being surprised that there's tension maybe behind the eyes, maybe in the shoulders, tension in the heart, the hips, the hands, letting yourself release into the ground. Being supported and softening. Focusing on different body parts and noticing what it is that you sense from them. If you find your mind lost in thought, just acknowledge that. Noticing the thought arise and disappear. Staying here for as long as you like or are able to take the time. Namaste.